Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Q&A. We are live with 30 minutes with Justin and Karen. Karen is not here right now. She's a little bit busy, so it's just me again today, as usual, let's be honest. Today we got some amazing guests. Melanie and Sylvia are really true community champions. They're on a mission to break the stigma around mental health, and they're walking in the walk to the Lighthouse to support Joseph Brant's mental health and addictions program. And their work is really bringing real hope and resources to patients, families, and caregivers. And we're excited to have this conversation. How you guys doing?
Good. Thank you.
Cool.
So much for having us here.
So first of all, mental health is becoming more and more of a thing, less and less of a stigma, which is great. But I guess the first question I had for you is what inspired you guys to get involved in mental health advocacy as opposed to the millions of other things we could be involved in at the moment?
Yeah. Do you want me to answer from my
Sure.
perspective?
Start yours. Yep.
Okay. So I've worked in mental health for 20, how long have I been here? 23 years at Joseph Brant. So that's a long time. I've seen a lot of things, and I know that it's not always easy to reach out, that stigma will stop people from reaching out for the help that they need. I also believe that while we have great programs, great staff, we could do a better job if our environment was a more healing one. And that's what the fundraising is going towards, is the redevelopment of our services.
That's incredible. Was there some sort of personal experience that motivated you to join this cause, or what was it that sort of forced you in that direction?
So I think I've always been interested. I mean, I always wanted to work with people, and it probably didn't start as a personal reason. It certainly has taken me, it's linked with my personal life. I have my husband struggles with his mental health, and one of my daughters does as well. And we've had quite the journey with her, and she's done really well. It's certainly not the journey we would have chosen for her. She has made the best out of it. And she recently was hired here, actually, at Joseph Brant, and she works as a peer on the inpatient mental health unit.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah, where she can share her own experience with other people to inspire them and encourage them to keep going on their journey.
Seems to be a common theme with folks that are involved in different organizations and different charitable events and things, that they've sort of been through some stuff and they've seen it firsthand themselves and understand the pain and suffering that it can cause. And I don't want to exclude any sort of individual group from this comment, but I feel like men's mental health and teenage mental health, I mean, women's mental health too, of course, but like, I feel like men, for some reason, women tend to have groups of people that tend to get together and friends, and they can talk about stuff. I don't know, maybe I'm getting that wrong, but teenagers especially, I mean, the amount of bullying and things that go on online now, that exacerbate these issues seem to be growing, unfortunately, and not getting better, even though we talk about trying to make it better and backing off. So I feel like those two groups, your husband and your daughter, are very poignant scenarios.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And then Sylvia,
And I started off, I mean, I taught nursing for 33 years, anything but mental health. An area that was very difficult, I thought, to teach and get involved in. But a family member, my son, was struggling with mental health. It usually hits when they go on to university, and it kind of, he developed a point for after first year university that it was very difficult. So I've been supporting him, and from that I got involved in different groups, including the advisory committee at Joseph Brant. Started there back in I'd say 2022, and or 2021, because I was involved in starting the first walk to the Lighthouse. So back there through the advisory committee, it was a fundraiser at that point, and it has Evolved. It certainly has evolved, yes.
Yeah.
So my journey is from a personal helping and supporting loved ones, and got involved too with supporting other caregivers. We have a caregiver support group that meets once a month as well at St. Christopher's, and we've kind of trying to reach out and help to support the people that are supporting people with mental health.
That's an interesting point because we don't often think about those people.
Mhm.
You know, I have a family member going through some stuff with another part of like a husband and wife family member that are going through some stuff. And, you know, the wife is the caregiver, and it's the stress that is put on these people to maintain and manage the scenario. And they're not professionals at this. They didn't sign up for it necessarily, but here we are going through it. And is there a manual for, like, you know what I mean? What do you do? Right. So you find opportunities like that.
Yeah.
Well, it's really helped me because I realized that because I was a nurse in the background, that I wanted to fix things. And that's not how it works. You really have to listen and you have to support, and just know being there. That's the way you have to go. And by being part of the support group and finding out you're not alone in this journey has really, really helped.
I think it normalizes it. And I think when you have mental illness, either yourself or your family member, it becomes a very isolating thing. Because there is still stigma and there's still shame around it. People tend to isolate, they tend to withdraw. You don't connect with your friends the way you used to. And then that heightens the symptoms further.
You know what I found, part of the journey through a mental health crisis is, first of all, you can't control what's going on in here sometimes. Right? It's literally like your mind is in a place where you know that it's not like this can't be real, but your brain keeps pushing you down that road. And part of that thought process becomes, no one's going to know going to understand me. No one's going to respect me. No one's going to listen to me. You're just telling yourself these lies that you can't break the cycle of, if that's the right terminology for it. And it goes, and then that spirals you deeper and deeper into the darkness of where you're headed, and you're so much more alone, and you're isolating yourself even worse.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, again, from a caregiver perspective, it's the same mindset. It's like, gosh, this is embarrassing that I have to go through this. Like, why, you know what I mean? Like, come on, this is ridiculous.
You know, like with my husband, I've talked about this because we actually went public last fall. We did a little magazine article and talked about our journey with this. You feel powerless. Like, I have all the knowledge in the world about mental health and I can't fix him. Right? And so it becomes a very helpless thing for anybody dealing with it, right? And then I too was stopped by stigma. That's part of the thing I talk about, which is why I talk about it, because if stigma can stop me, co-chair of Walk to the Lighthouse, intake coordinator of mental health at Joseph Brant, and I was like, I'm not sure where we should turn to for support because everybody knows me. And then who am I going to have to see you? Like, it became sort of shameful.
I get it. Wow.
And yet it shouldn't have been, but it was. And so that is why I feel it's important that I speak about that, because if it can stop me, it can stop anybody.
That's really interesting. What can you share what the Walk to the Lighthouse means to you guys personally? Because there's got to be some founding inspiration behind it.
Actually, one of the women, Sasha, that was part of our advisory committee, she came up with the idea of walking on the beach strip towards the lighthouse, towards the light, towards something better, towards a better future, and towards hope. And we got started, and it was back in 2021. We did our first walk, and we had 20 people, because again, it was the end of COVID. We raised $9,000, and the second year, we had more people, maybe 50, and we raised about 19,000, and it kind of grew with 50,000. And then last year, we actually had about 300 people, and we made over 100. So it's huge. It's really growing, and it's really grassroots because
Yeah.
there are people with lived experience that are running this. We work together with the foundation at Joseph Brant to help, and they're helping us because
Yeah.
they realize that we have that special link to people because, you know, we understand, we get it.
What is the atmosphere during the walk? What makes it so special?
I feel like it gives us hope. It's that day where, like, there's no registration fee. Yes, we want to raise money for our redevelopment because it's a massive, like, millions and millions of a dollar project. And we know that our walk isn't going to fix that. But what we hope to do is to give people that hope and that permission that it's okay to talk about this today. It's okay to talk about this any day, actually, but that day especially, I can't tell you how great it feels walking on that path, and people will stop you and say, "What are you guys walking for?" And people will just randomly say, openly say, "Oh, we're walking for mental health." And I was like, the first time that happened, a couple of years ago, it happened. And I was like, oh my gosh, in all my years, did you ever think people would just openly, everybody's okay with this? It's okay to talk about. There is no stigma, there's no shame that day. We're trying to make it a day where our community care partners come together. We have 16 of them lined up. So anything from food bank to housing to mental health support. So it's a day where people can know that there's not just the hospital here, but a whole array of services here to support you. Because when you're in the depth of something, it can be very difficult to know where to start. And it can be hard to even make phone calls. So the more awareness we have, the more likely someone will be able to help you. Yeah.
It's a really dark place, and seeing that lightness and fun and probably, and because I've not been on the walk, it's the first time I've heard of it, to be fair, but probably people from all walks of life,
Yes.
not just adults and kids and black or white or whatever, like
Yeah.
people from all communities that have had issues. I have a story of a friend who's an Indian family, and his cousin woke up one morning, said goodbye to the kids, walked out the door, went over to the bridge in Hamilton, walked out into the water. It was minus whatever degrees out, and just done,
Wow.
and nobody could see it coming. Like, these mental health issues affect everybody,
Yeah.
right? And
People,
having you guys come together in such a solidified group, I'm sure is a wonderful show of just like support for each other,
yeah.
but support for the overall concept. And what I find most interesting about these things is people going out of their way, like you guys especially, to step up and want to help others in a world full of vitriol and hatred and war and all the garbage that we're going through. There's people like you and others that are stepping up to say, I just want to help other people and
Yes.
have it.
It's that simple, actually.
You know what I mean?
One-
And why isn't life just like that?
Yeah, I know. I know.
So,
So we have made great efforts, to your point, to reach out to other communities because we know that it's stigmatized even more so in certain communities,
sure.
right? And so, we've done talks in the community. The most recent one last week, which I think was the most significant special to me to date, is we spoke at a mosque. And it was so well received. We were so nervous about going,
Of course.
and people were so kind and so grateful, and people coming up to us sharing their stories and saying this needs to be talked about more. We're so glad you're here.
There's even cultural restrictions to people talking about this stuff that is insane.
Exactly.
That blows my mind. I mean, and again, I'm not pointing fingers at any one culture, but you're 100% correct that, you breaking into different cultures and allowing people to have a space. How important is that?
Yeah.
That's so incredible.
Last year we had White Eagle, an Indigenous elder. She came and
Yes.
she spoke. at the walk, and she's invited to come again this year. And her and I have had a few conversations about mental health and how, I mean, it's very much my belief that we will not heal until we all heal.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean that my ways will heal you. It means collectively we need to find our ways to heal that.
It's very interesting. What's your vision for the future of mental health support in the community? What do you see as being the next steps for you guys?
I see the community as being the huge resource. I mean, my son had multiple admissions into the hospital, and now it's for the last, I think it's been 2.5, 3 years since he's been, because he is connected with the outpatient department, and he's taking courses, dialectical behavioral therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy. He has an excellent coach that works with him and helps him to apply those skills. So he's in a much better spot than he was before. And I would like to see that continue, that we can have the supports out there to keep people in the community, to keep them functioning as well as they can, and feel good about themselves.
For sure.
And I think it's just increasing people's awareness and understanding so that we foster a sense of compassion for people.
There is a fine line right now that I'm struggling with as a whole in the mental health world and the treatment world with this, where we were making so much progress for a while up to a point, and now some new initiatives that have come from political resources and things like that have started to turn the narrative around and shift it back to what it was, where it was a little bit like, suck it up, buttercup kind of thing. I found.
Blame.
And
right?
blame. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and I don't want to point fingers in any specific direction, but I'm feeling like there's a lot of mental health stigma around the LGBTQ community, and people now creating worse scenarios. And we're taking steps back in time from a functional perspective with those communities and other communities because of the political narratives that we have in the world right now.
Yeah.
And this is causing much more problems for the mental health world. And I feel like it's actually created a scenario where a lot of us will step back from being more open about it because of it, if you understand what I mean.
I do know what you mean. There was actually an article, I believe it was in the Globe and Mail just a couple of weeks ago, and it was speaking exactly about that, how there's a very right-wing movement basically challenging the concept of empathy, that empathy should not be for everyone. It's very much attached to judgment. They don't see it that way, I don't think, but that, we shouldn't have empathy for people who are maybe living a certain lifestyle or struggling in a certain way.
Yes.
And again, it's this blame, right? If they hadn't done this or they weren't doing that, so we don't need to have empathy for them. And that's a very wrong way to go.
And sometimes too, like I know my son, we run into problems where people judge, like, well, he just needs to get a job, or he just needs to do this, or it's so easy to fix it. And they have no idea, no concept of how much of a struggle things are.
I'll tell you what, I came from I'm a real estate agent. So I've come from a very heavy sales background, and the culture in sales around, the grind and things like that, which has shifted a little bit. Like even people like Gary Vaynerchuk have moved away from the grind. But I think that there's a culture in sales, and I am fully guilty of saying this to my wife, having had my wife go through some things. And I would say, can't you just choose your attitude? You should wake up and you have a positive attitude, and, you got to take a deep breath and drink some water in the morning, and your routine means everything and all these things. And while that helps in certain ways, it's almost bullying for me to sort of shove that in someone's face that's going through it, not being able to understand, what exactly it was. And the hilarious kind of turn of events was I went through an MRI machine, I don't know, 2.5 years ago, about almost 2 years ago now. And in going through that, had massive anxiety attacks afterwards, like really bad anxiety attacks afterwards, like the rooms closing in and windows shrinking. And couldn't understand it because I was always a very logical human, and I would choose my attitude, and I would have that positive outlook and just try to be that person no matter what was going on. And maybe I probably closed off a lot of those mental health scenarios, but this particular scenario really flipped the switch for me to look at my wife in a different way and go, I am so sorry.
Right.
I didn't realize genuinely the impact and the out of control feeling you have
It paralyzes you.
that paralyzes you. It's so crazy. That's a great word. I don't
Mhm.
know how many nights I sat on the top step of my house upstairs in the dark at 3 a.m. because my brain wouldn't shut down.
Yeah,
And I had no tools to help myself bring it
exactly.
down. And I can also see how that leads to self-medication
Yes.
and other things like that,
Yes.
you know, and,
Actually
you
go
know,
hand in hand.
Because you're
um,
desperate to find something to give you that relief.
to
And
shut it down. Yes.
yeah,
Yes. It's a very traumatic thing that really, and I imagine we're probably only just barely scratching the surface of what the treatment plans should be for these things. Right. And this is why the funding and the things that we're doing with your organization
yeah,
is so important, to be able to continue the research, for this sort of stuff. So, the walk is happening when? Let's talk about that quickly.
yeah. So it's happening Sunday, September 21st. It's a month from today. So
You know,
we're
we're getting there.
gearing up. Yeah, we're getting there. We have so much to do. So it's 12:30 to 3:30, and we start in the parking lot at Joseph Brant, right behind the museum.
Yep.
And no registration fee because we just want people walking. We don't want any barriers, just like our services, right? We want everything to be accessible, and we just want people there. And we walk from that parking lot down to the Lighthouse, which is where the lift bridge is,
Yep.
and back.
Yep.
And along the way, there's entertainment, and we have entertainment at the parking lot. We have refreshments. JC Bagels will be there, and we have so far 16 care providers. So there's some like food service, like food banks, food programs.
Yeah, Sash Bear, which
Yeah.
helps people, caregivers, actually, in terms of giving resources and
Heartache to
yeah,
Hope,
Heartache to Hope.
Adapt, like,
Yeah.
yeah, so all kinds of services, because housing, because we recognize, like, when a person's struggling with their mental health, often they're struggling in multiple areas of their life because it's impacting. Right now, you're not able to go to work, or now you can't pay your bills, or relationships are breaking down.
Mhm. So so there's obviously, there's links below. How do you raise funds in that moment? Are you collecting donations on the day, or how are you raising funds to
So
do
our
that?
site is open now. So
Okay.
if you go to our website, you'd be able to
Yeah,
go.
we'll put those links underneath as
Yeah.
well so that we can make sure that people get a chance to do that. Okay.
Yeah, so then you would just go and you could put a team together. You could put your own fundraising page together. Then you could share it on social media, email it out to people, share it with your contacts. Put a team together, like we've got some businesses putting teams together, churches putting teams together, and
Or even just donate. you
yeah,
know.
Right.
just
Yeah.
donating.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't make the walk. Just send a few
Yeah.
bucks if you can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And we're also collecting money for our silent auction, so that we're trying to raise money with that. Last year, we
Yeah.
made 3,500 just on the silent auction.
Are your items already up for bid or no?
No, not yet. They won't
Okay.
be up.
Are you still looking for more items?
We are
Maybe.
now looking
Absolutely.
for items.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We're still looking for sponsorship too. So
Yeah.
Perfect.
we have that
Yes.
closed this weekend. So yeah, any last minute people are welcome.
Yeah.
The
We're
other way,
finalizing our flyer, because we're going to
Yes.
post it in all the storefronts and go from door to door. And if you're sponsoring at minimum of $1,000, then your logo will be on that flyer. So
Perfect.
our deadline for that is Saturday night.
Yeah.
So
the
Very
other
good.
way to support us is to visit us at any of our pop-up events. We've had a number of them. We have one going on right now at the hospital. I will be at Burlington Youth Soccer on Saturday. We will be at Rib Fest at the end of the month. Yeah, 4 days.
yeah.
And we have merchandise that we sell. Show this. This fits with the whole empathy thing and having compassion.
This is our
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, but
and-
show the back.
there we go.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that
Right?
lovely?
Is it backwards for you though?
No, it's perfect. It actually is perfect.
Okay, yeah, okay.
It
Wanted
is
to make
for us.
sure.
You did it right.
It is for us. Just checking.
We have a contest right now for people to wear it to wherever they're vacationing,
Yeah.
their favorite spot, and take a picture there,
Yeah.
like the Post used to do, right?
Oh, that's so
And
cool.
then we'll post it on social
Yeah,
media.
but because it's just like, get this message out, be kind. You don't.
That's
you
really
don't
cool.
Be kind to the person.
Well, and again, that circles back to the idea of like with everything going on,
Exactly.
just being a little bit more kind, you know, smile at somebody as they walk by instead of having your head down. Like, I don't know, little things, little bits of happiness and joy like that just create ripples.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you never know who you could affect. There's a really cool TikTok trend that I don't know if it's still trending or whatever, but I guess I follow some of them, so I keep getting them. And it's people that will walk up to someone and hand them a note and then just walk away with no context.
Okay.
And the note will say something like exactly what the back of your sweater says. The world is better with you in it.
Yeah.
And then there's someone filming from like across the park and they're sitting on a bench and they're reading this and their reactions are genuinely priceless.
Yeah.
Right? You don't understand how something so
Sure.
small can affect someone's life in such a large way.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
some people go, oh, what the, whatever.
Yeah.
Other people though, open it and they're like, they're holding this thing on their heart and you can see the shift in their emotion in that moment.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. And that's really the coolest thing. So
Yeah.
what you're doing is incredible. So if you want to get involved, go to the website. Is there any way to get involved outside of these events, like just to help you and be a part of what you're doing?
Absolutely. We
Looking for
welcome
volunteers.
We're looking for volunteers. We're looking for people to join our committee. People have an interest in this issue and want to share their ideas, perspectives, their energy.
Mhm.
We would welcome that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, even at Ribfest, I mean, we need people to
Yeah.
be there to help with selling the merchandise, but also hand out our
Our
save the date
cards.
cards. So that, and that's
Cool.
huge in terms of reaching out and encouraging families to come, because we have a kids zone this year,
Yeah.
which is new. And so we're trying to get all families coming as well. And people that with dogs, walking dogs.
Yes, dogs are
Yeah,
welcome, long
yeah,
as they're on
yeah.
leashes.
Because
and-
it's
that's
huge
cool.
for mental health as well. Like having a dog, it gets you out walking, talking to
Mhm.
people where you normally, if you have social anxiety, it's difficult to do that.
And we have people of all ages. People
Mhm.
bring their,
Yep.
as we said, people bring their dogs, people bring their strollers. We had one lady go in a wheelchair the full distance last year, and
Wow.
we had another man who walked it with a walker
With
the
a walker.
entire distance.
Yeah, amazing.
Okay, so I want to end on something really, really cool. Do you have one really interesting story where something that you've created or done has had a major impact on a person or an individual?
Like in terms of our walk.
In terms of the walk, in terms of the support that you're giving to and the money you're giving to the different organizations that you're giving to, do you have a story that comes out of that is like, I remember this person that
we have
maybe
all
it's on the spot. Maybe I'm putting it on the spot a little bit.
I have lots of them. We have lots of success stories here.
Yeah.
And I got a text yesterday from one of my people who I've had quite a long time. And when I got her, she hadn't been working for quite a number of years, was living at home, no income, feeling terrible about herself, no skills really to manage. Fast forward, she's gone through all our programs, DBT, seen me individually, done groups, has done a lot of exposure work, started working, has worked so hard at being persistent, like part-time jobs and like piecing things together, persevering. And yesterday I got a text from her saying, Melanie, I just got my first full-time permanent job.
Excellent. Wow. It's
Benefits,
huge.
pension, the whole bit.
Wow.
So that's a success story. And you know, that never would have happened had she not connected to the proper services.
That's amazing. The journey is real. The effort is immense, but to the point of your shirt that you've just showed us,
I know.
it's it's well fucking worth it. We love you. We love humans. We love you. I'm just getting a little emotional now. Sorry.
Oh.
Um,
And you know, I just want to
It's
say
okay
too,
to be emotional. That's what we do here. We do emotions. Okay.
we have been advocating for that new unit, but the unit for mental health was not updated with the hospital. And it goes back to 1960s, right?
Mhm.
And in the fall, we just got the government on board and the okay to go ahead with that new unit.
Wow.
So that fight, that's what we've been advocating for, like Melanie said, a
Yeah,
better
for
environment.
years.
That's huge too.
Yeah.
That just
Yeah,
is wonderful.
so the construction is starting and it'll take about 2 years, but we are still responsible for a significant amount, even though the government's supporting, we're still responsible for a significant portion
That's
of,
amazing.
of that funding. Yeah.
Well, I will end on this note because we're running up against the time. I will just say this because it's probably a situation where you don't care about this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Thank you.
Mm.
You're not here for the thank yous. I can tell,
No,
but you deserve it. So thank you.
Thank you.
thank you
much.
very much. We appreciate it.
We will put all the links below and make sure that everybody gets all the information they need. I feel like I'm going to be buying one of those sweaters because I love hoodies anyway. So
Yeah.
Oh, they're so
perfect for me.
comfortable. Yeah.
And we will we'll talk soon. But thank you guys for coming on and just thank you for what you do. So
Thank you very much.
Thank you.